The Subaru Forester has been around for more than 2 decades now, but this might just be the best one yet. Welcome to the garage on Ride By. So what we have here today is none other than the all-new Subaru Forester E-Boxer Hybrid. That's right, the Subaru Forester finally comes in a much-anticipated hybrid configuration. So what powers this car? Well, in true Subaru fashion, it's powered by a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated boxer engine, but it has a neat trick up its sleeve. It has an electric motor. That makes it a full hybrid vehicle capable of producing a combined output of around 196 horsepower and around 276 Nm of torque. That gives it a lot of pep in its step, making it a very fun car to drive both on the daily and for trips out of town. Okay, so more about this hybrid powertrain. So the Boxer engine is supported by an electric motor and a battery with 1.1 kilowatt hours. It gives you more than 1,000 kilometers of range on a full tank of the 63-liter gas tank. So styling-wise, we get our usual Forester look here with body cladding here as well as on the running boards. Very stylish and also very functional when it comes to protecting your paint in the event you take this car off-roading. Now the wheels and tires, you are looking at 235/50 R19 Bridgestone Turanzas on these nice two-tone alloy wheels. Very nice, very rugged looking. Now moving on here to the back, the body cladding continues, and you get nice accent pieces here that really showcase Subaru's iconic symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Okay, so moving on to the back, the signature Forester styling continues, but it's been modernized here. So you get nice LED taillights and this nice accent on top. Of course, the E-Boxer emblem, and down below, you get this black cladding for the lower bumper slash diffuser. So you'll notice this car only has one exhaust pipe because it's a naturally aspirated version. Those of you who are familiar with the XT of old know that had two exhaust pipes, but this only has one. It has a cover here. So now let's look at the interior cargo space of the Forester Hybrid. So it has a kick feature. So all you have to do is kick here, take a step back. The tailgate opens on its own. Amazing, right? So inside, with the seats folded up in this configuration, you get 484 liters of cargo space. That's a lot. But if you're carrying stuff like bicycles, golf bags, and your weekend essentials for a camping trip out of town, you can fold the rear seats down simply by pushing this and this one. Boink. And very conveniently, the seats fold perfectly flat, allowing you to put whatever you want inside the cargo bay. Now, you can close this. Let's say you're carrying heavy things. You can close this by kicking here, taking a step back. But let's say yung anak mo or ikaw, you're still there. It goes back up. So safety feature, guys. Hindi kayo maiipit, hindi kayo mauntog, hindi kayo makakabukol from closing this. So let's close it again. Kicking here and taking a step back. Flawless. Okay, so we are now inside this Subaru Forester E-Boxer Hybrid. Let's power up the infotainment display. So inside you get your typical Subaru interior. Those of you who are familiar with this steering wheel will know that it is very much indeed a Subaru. Nice analog gauges here inside. You can see them, they cycle through like the old school Subarus. You get this digital instrument cluster in the middle of the two analog gauges. But of course, the star of the show here is this massive vertical touchscreen display. So all of the vehicle's settings can be configured through the display here. The touchscreen system allows you to check out all of the vehicle dynamics here. You get your auto vehicle hold, other settings, car info, and various apps including wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Of course, the Subaru Forester E-Boxer Hybrid is equipped with Subaru's cutting-edge EyeSight technology. So that's basically the ADAS suite that comes standard with a lot of Subaru vehicles. That includes your essentials like adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, lane departure assist, and all the other safety features, including a 360-degree camera and proximity sensors all around, making it very easy to park this car and drive in very congested areas. So, as I mentioned, in this display, you can configure all of the car settings simply by clicking here in the car info icon. So, kita natin the driving statistics, all of the, the hybrid powertrain. You can even see the angle here, the lean angle and the pitch and the yaw. So that's useful when you're driving on technical, maybe some off-road terrain. It also has maintenance reminders over here when it's time for you to change your oil filter, even your tires. So meron din siyang maintenance schedule. And you also have the option to reset. Let's say you'd perform the PMS on your own. Now, if you click that car icon over here, you'll see all of the other features that you can configure. So this is part of the eyesight suite. You have your vehicle dynamics control. You have your X mode, which is basically, it tunes the all-wheel drive system depending on the terrain that you're driving on. So now it's on normal mode. Cruise control, standard. You have your dynamic, which is yung sinasabi ko kanina na it will follow the car in front of you and slow down alongside and along with traffic. So auto vehicle hold, of course, a lot of cars already have this. And you can also adjust the steering responsive headlight. So that's like your cornering lights when you're driving at night on twisty roads. Now here, the driving assistance systems, you get more of the eyesight features: pre-collision braking, forward collision warning, lane departure, rear vehicle detection, and driver monitoring system. So what this one is, yung driver monitor system, it will enable the emergency driver stop system wherein, let's say, knock on wood, something happens to you while you're driving. Let's say you suffer from, you black out, you have a stroke or whatever, and you just stop responding. What's gonna happen here is the car is going to try to wake you up. So what's gonna happen is mag-flash muna siya ng notification on the screen. If you don't respond, it'll pump on the brakes a few times and then to try to shake you awake. If that still fails, it'll automatically slow down, bring you to a safe stop, and activate the hazard lights. So very nice safety feature from this car. Okay, so now let's appreciate the look and feel of the interior of this car. So dito sa taas, it's plastic with some soft touch elements, giving it a more premium feel. You get textured elements here on the side, kind of like a faux carbon fiber with a diamond pattern, with some stitching here as well. Very nice look and feel. Here in the middle, you get your wireless charger, you get your gear selector, the good old-fashioned gear selector here. You get two cup holders. I don't think they're big enough to fit your oversized flasks, pero yung standard jugs mo, yung standard na drinks will fit here perfectly. Nice center console here.
Is it cooled?
No, it's not. It's not a cooled center console. It's just a standard box for you to put your stuff. But I think you have a wireless charger here. You can put your wallet here. A lot of nice interior amenities for you to use. Now, the seats are full leather. They have like an Alcantara feel over here. I don't know if that's really Alcantara, but it feels like it. Perforated leather on the centers. And if you look at the top, you can see that our sunroof here is open and quite a lot of headroom. So it's very spacious inside, very comfortable. Really very nice place to be in, especially if you're looking at this car for your daily driver or your family car for trips out of town. Okay, now taking a look at the back seats of the Forester, which is where your family will spend most of their time in road trips out of town. So there's one thing to note, there are no reclining seats here at the back. Pero yung position niya is actually very comfortable as it is. So you can see I have a lot of headroom here. I have a lot of leg room. This is my driving position. I'm 5'8", lots of space here for you even to put some bags on the floor, maybe some snacks. Here you get a center aircon vent, dalawa sila. USB Type A, USB Type C, for you to charge your stuff. Very convenient. Here in the middle, you get a pull-down armrest with two extra cup holders. You also get cup holders here, pero medyo mas maliit sila on the door cards. Very nice and very functional. Again, the leather upholstery continues with Alcantara-like inserts here on the side and perforated leather here in the middle. Very nice. Okay, so here we are now behind the wheel of the new Subaru Forester E-Boxer Hybrid. And while we're here at the stoplight, let's talk about the ergonomics first. So the seating position is very typical of what you'd expect from the Forester, upright, commanding, with a very nice field of view. So one thing that I appreciate about the design of this Forester is meron siyang parang maliit na quarter window dito. And that means the A-pillars can be a bit more slim. So it eliminates a lot of the blind spot, no? So that's a big deal, especially when you're driving in the city and even when you're driving out of town, kasi sometimes mabubulaga ka na may tumatawid, diba? So that's a nice safety touch, a nice safety and convenience feature that Subaru is giving us with the Forester. The steering wheel, one thing I really love about Subaru's ergonomics, no, is how you can adjust the steering wheel in such a wide range of adjustment, up and down, and it telescopes very far. So as you can see here, I have the steering wheel as close as I can possibly have it to my torso. That's how I like my driving position kasi parang I feel like I'm more connected and more engaged with the car when I have the steering wheel close like this, high up and close. And so yeah, so now that the road is clearing up, we can stretch this car's legs a little bit. So the all-wheel drive system, the electric motor, and the boxer engine, they all work together to give you a very direct and very linear throttle response. So as you can see, I have the gasoline floored, very responsive. And the first that came into my mind, you know, when I started the engine, you don't really hear that Subaru Boxer start up anymore, no? Kasi syempre, it's electric first, like most hybrid vehicles of today. Pero when you want that extra juice to kick in, the engine doesn't hesitate to really spool up. You can hear it revving alongside with the electric motor pulling you forward. So the transmission of this car, no, it's not all too different from the Forester that we've become familiar with. It's a lineartronic CVT, which means na you do get a bit of that rubber band feel. Pero because it makes so much torque, no, it makes like almost 280 Newton meters of torque. Parang it's negligible na yung ganong klaseng delay. Kasi the electric motor really picks up all that slack and delivers power to the wheels much quicker than you would expect. Okay, so moving on to the suspension and handling of this car, no? Subaru Boxer engines are known to have a very low center of gravity, and that is very much the case with the Forester Hybrid as well. And to complement that, you get a very advanced suspension system. So up front, you get McPherson struts, and on the back, unlike other crossovers of this size, you don't get a torsion beam, you get double wishbone independent suspension. So that results in a drive that is extremely dynamic, very responsive, and very satisfying when you're driving on twisty roads. Braking, the brakes, so four-wheel disc brakes, ABS as standard, nothing more you can ask for, very responsive. You know, Subaru has always been known for making cars that are great to drive, and this is a very refreshing exercise in how you can make a hybrid vehicle still that dynamic and that engaging to drive. The hybrid powertrain in the Subaru Forester e-Boxer Hybrid, it's very special kasi, you know, Subaru says that you can do more than 1,000 kilometers on a full tank of gas, and that's a 63-liter tank. That's pretty impressive kasi especially, you know, diba, Subarus, they kind of have this reputation of being matako sa gas. So now this car throws that reputation out the window. So what makes that hybrid powertrain so special is the way it actually works. No? It prioritizes the use of the battery over the internal combustion engine. So when it idles, the engine is off. And sometimes when you're cruising on the city like we are now, here there's a gauge here on the left side. Imbis na tachometer siya, it's actually a power gauge that shows you what kind of power you're using. So while you're braking here, we're charging the battery. And as you're cruising along, it goes on to eco. And only when you step on the gas does it go to power, and does the engine actually kick in. So very smart use of all the available power sources on this car, making it very efficient. So a bit more about the technology of this drivetrain. So yes, hybrid siya with an electric motor, and it's also a Miller-Atkinson cycle engine. So what does that mean? So technically speaking, it delays the closing of the intake valve, and it also uses variable valve timing to make sure na sobrang efficient talaga ng gas engine niya. So the downside to that, no, is medyo down tayo on power, down a bit on torque, but to make up for that, you get this powerful electric motor. Kaya despite that very efficient layout of the engine, you still produce around 196 horsepower and more than 270 Newton meters of torque. Okay, sige. While we're stopped here at the stoplight, now you will notice that behind the steering wheel, meron siyang paddle shifters. So as I mentioned a while ago, this has a CVT, continuously variable transmission, but it still has 6 automated gears. So yeah, so we are now on manual mode. I have it on first gear, so you can hear it. Hindi siya nag-shift. Second gear, wow, ang bilis mag-shift in fairness Oh, okay, that's very nice kasi it is a hybrid, it's very efficient as I mentioned, more than 1,000 kilometers of range in a full tank, and yet it still allows you to manually change gears. When was the last time that you saw a hybrid allow you to do that? So that's nice. Kudos to Subaru because it kind of preserves that internal combustion feel, all while providing you the efficiency and the green, you know, the benefits that you get from a full hybrid vehicle. One breakthrough technology of the Subaru Forester e-Boxer Hybrid is what's called EDSS, or Emergency Driving Stop System. So unfortunately, we can't demo that for you because it requires a closed road and it requires you to surrender complete control of the vehicle to the car. But essentially how that works is, let's say, knock on wood, untoward incident happens while you're driving, a medical emergency, let's say ma-stroke ka, ma-heart attack ka, and you collapse, or something as simple as like low blood sugar and you just faint, you just black out. What happens there is after a certain distance, maybe a few seconds of zero input from the driver, the car kind of knows that you're offline, so to speak, and it will try to wake you up in quite a few ways. So first, magpa-flash siya ng notification dito sa instrument cluster mo. And then if that doesn't work, it's gonna pump on the brakes like a few times, so try to nudge you awake, gigisingin ka niya. Kung hindi pa rin, it's gonna activate the hazard lights and slowly and safely bring you to a stop. So that way, you know, people around you will know that there is something going on, because syempre, hindi lang basta-basta titigil ang kotse mag-isa in the middle of the road, and the hazard lights will automatically switch on. And that way, you know, hopefully a good Samaritan or someone around you will come and rescue you. Of course, when you are shopping for a car for your family, safety is one of the top priorities. Of course, Subaru does not disappoint. This car has a 5-star NHTSA rating, making it one of the safest cars in the States. Pasado siya sa US, more than pasado siya dito sa Pilipinas. So what are the goods to back it up? It gets a lot of airbags, front side curtain airbags. As I mentioned, the very comprehensive suite of electronic driver aids, and of course, Subaru's global platform body structure, which really prioritizes safety above anything else. So as for the price of this car, how much are you gonna pay for a Subaru Forester hybrid like this? Well, guys, it is surprisingly attainable, especially if you have a bit more of a budget for a car like this. It'll set you back 2,498,000 pesos. That's 2.5 M outdoor for a car like this. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Our first ride preview of the Subaru Forester E-Boxer Hybrid. So guys, we only got to drive this car around the area here in Alabang. So we can't really give you our conclusions when it comes to what this car is capable of. So after all, this is only a first ride preview. So we'd very much love to get our hands on this car for a more in-depth review. That said, you know, I think this one has a lot of potential. This could be a game changer for Subaru, as well as the compact crossover segment here in the Philippines. So yeah, stay tuned to the Garage on Ride By for the written article of this first drive. And yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue creating the content that we hope you love to watch. Thanks for watching. So now I have fallen asleep behind the wheel, and it's beeping because it thinks I'm dead. Ah, there's a car!